And got that going. You can choose to have video on or video off for you, and sound is going to be off for the purpose of recording. So welcome. Welcome if you're here live, and welcome if you're going to be watching this on recording. And just going to hold a little context of the timing of this class. So it's September 12th, 2020. We are still in the midst of a pretty wild time on the planet. And there are fires that are, burning throughout the West. There's our pandemic. There's, just hurricanes. There's climate change. There is so much that we are practicing in the midst of. And, I think often about this idea of equanimity and what does that really mean? And, it translates as this ability to stand in the middle of all this, right? Or to find a sense of like that eye of the hurricane, or what is it that brings us into a sense of our own groundedness and our own capacity to be present when there's so much going on around us. And to offer that moment of stillness or that presence. And it doesn't mean that we're not going to get pulled out to those waves and pulled out into those winds. Certainly we are, we're human. But to know that we can allow that to move through us in a way that comes back to feeling grounded and connected to ourselves. And I think for me that is so much of what I love about practice, and what I particularly love about practicing in community is that it allows us to really draw upon our shared sense of connection, and through that to recognize we're not alone, we're here in this together. There's going to be challenges, and we can come back to the predictability of the breath and the predictability of the stillness of the mind that can offer. So my intention for today is we're going to be working with some twists and some deeper breath practices, and that it's about connecting across left and right sides of the body, left and right sides of the brain, and about ultimately coming into what we call the Sushumna, or the central channel. And that ability to know that we're going to get pulled out of balance. We'll get pulled right and left. We'll get pulled into maybe being overly aggressive or overly passive with ourselves or with others. And that the central channel is about really fine-tuning that sweet spot where we can use both the kind of fire of intensity and the fire of focus, and also the softness of acceptance, so that we can discern and have clarity of mind and clarity of action with others in the world. I'm going to hold a bit of the juxtaposition of our world right now with a poem for today. This is a Mary Oliver poem, and some of you may already be familiar with it, but it feels very apropos with the fires burning in our world right now, and also the capacity to remember that, all of this churning and destruction that's happening around us makes way for something. There's a clearing, and that we need to keep asking the question of, if the fire is churning the earth and creating new fertile ground beneath us, what is it that we can plant inside of that? What are the seeds that we want to plant here? And that's a big question, right? Because it comes back to a sense of personal responsibility. It brings us back to, I am a creative agent. I have the capacity and the power to shape the future of my life, and I can't control everything. I can't control that which is out of my control, right? But we have some capacity to be that creator, and that's where we plant those seeds. So with this poem, in Blackwater Woods. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds, and every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time goes, to let it go, to let it go. With that said, I invite you to take a few moments for yourself and ask yourself what has brought you to the mat today. Why are you here? What is your why? What is it that is asking us to let go, right? What is it that it's time to let go of? And what do we plant? What seeds do we put in place? What intentions do we hold in the space that we create? With this intention in mind, I'll invite a very gentle beginning practice here. Drawing the arms up overhead, maybe taking your gaze up towards your thumbs, towards your fingers, your palms. And exhale, sweeping them back down. Right? Just gently inhale to left. Exhale, sweeping it down. I'm going to go ahead and slide all the way back here. Inhale, sweeping your arm. Exhale, letting it go. Your connection, right, left, all the way up through to midline. Parting the seas, exhale, pressing back down to earth. Inhale to lift. Exhale, sweeping down. And listen carefully, a little different this time. Inhale to center. Exhale, we'll part the seas, a little twist to the right, taking the hands back down. Fingertips can touch the earth. Inhale through to center. And exhale to the left. Inhale. To the right. Coming to center. And to the left. One more each side. Your breath, your rhythm. Coming back through to center. And exhale, palms down to the earth. Beautiful. From here, I'll bring in an alternate nostril pranayama. The mudra here with the right hand bending in the first two fingers, using the thumb to close off the right nostril. And inhaling through the left. At the top of the inhale, switching, closing off the left, exhaling right. Inhaling right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Exhale left. Continuing your own rhythm. We switch at the top of the inhale. One more round. Coming to completion as you exhale out the left. Releasing the hand when you're there. And a few soft breaths through both nostrils. Lovely. We'll do one more breathing practice here. And in this practice, the breath of fire, and some of you have done this with me before, we'll have a rapid inhale and exhale. I'm going to add in two pieces for today. One is to explore what it's like to draw your eyes up toward the center of the forehead or towards the third eye point. It's a gentle stimulation for the pineal gland. The other is that we're going to add a brief retention of the breath. So as we complete the rapid inhale and exhale, and if you're new to it, it's going to look and sound like this. And in particular, we draw the navel back to send the breath out. Now you might need a little tissue or a hanky, right? So just keeping that in mind, that you might expel a little bit of mucus. That's okay. It's not a bad thing. And we're clearing the nostrils. There's a lot out there about the benefits of this kind of rapid. It actually stimulates a little bit of the sympathetic nervous system, and it clears the sinuses. So there's a lot of benefits to this practice. And that we're going to inhale at the end of the practice. We're going to exhale to completion and hold that exhale out briefly for about 10 to 15 seconds, okay? And if you need to breathe in, you breathe in, honor your body. Women, if you're on your moon cycle, you might want to just go into long, deep breathing instead of the Kapalabhati or breath of fire. So, but if we're doing this together, we'll go ahead and begin here. Inhale and exhale. Keep breathing. I'll just say that you just let the inhale happen naturally. Your emphasis is on drawing the belly back for the exhale. Eyes up to the center of the forehead, third eye. Inhale here to the top. Exhale, letting all of the air go, holding at the bottom of the breath. Inhale as you're ready. And just let the breath happen. Natural and easy, in and out the nose. All right. Beautiful. Let's do a little bit of movement to integrate the breath practices. So we'll do a little bit here with some spinal rotations, inhaling forward. Exhale as you come back and around, finding your rhythm, experiencing any little stuck spots, any places of holding, and inviting them into your awareness. With this breath practice, with this little movement here, you can always find a little place to pause, some micro movements, honoring those places of holding, acknowledging them through your breath, exaggerating the tension just a little bit so that it knows that you're onto it, you're in there. Good. And then going in the opposite direction and exploring how, as you rotate around here, maybe to the left now, that you're really sensing and feeling those little sticky spots. Lovely. One more in this direction. And then up to center. So I'm going to turn to the side for this next one for a moment here. And we're going to do a little bit of a seated cat-cow, but it's going to look a little different for some of you that are used to taking with me. I'm going to actually invite you to dive your head down. You can imagine here a porpoise coming through the waves. Inhale and lift back up so that we're kind of just exploring a really rhythmic, fluid. Inhale. Exhale back. Diving down, drawing it forward. Inhale. And back. Let your breath be circular with this circular movement. Good. One more like that. Oh, that feels good in my body. I'm hoping that you enjoyed that too. So this next one, we'll do a little bit more of integration of left-right. And as some of you know, I also have about 10 years ago where I solely practiced Kundalini yoga, and for the last 10 years have done a much more integrative form. But this next practice comes from that Kundalini tradition, and it's a rapid sympathetic breath, and we're integrating between left and right sides of the body. So I'll invite this one with a mudra. The mudra is Yan Mudra, touching thumb and first finger. We're going to place the hands at a 90-degree angle here, and to inhale left and exhale right. So it can, if you want to look for a moment before you add in, just So it can be a bit rapid, and adapt it. Adapt it to your body and to what you're needing here. You can also place hands here to the shoulders if it's too much of a kind of, too wide of a spectrum here for the movement for your spine. So inhale, exhale, finding your rhythm, making it yours. Inhale, center. Maybe eyes right to the center of your forehead. Exhale, let it go. We're going to take the breath in the opposite direction. Inhale right, exhale left. Inhale, center. Exhale, let it go. Releasing the arms. Pausing for a moment. Just integrating. Feeling the residue of the breath and the shape. The movement. The subtle movement inside. Beautiful. All right, for this next one, a few options. One is to stay seated as you are. Another is to draw the left leg slightly under and the right knee on top. So this is called cow face pose. Imagine here, this is the mouth of the cow. Right? And so in cow face pose, we're getting into the hips, we're crossing midline, and if that is too much, or maybe your leg is way lifted, that's absolutely fine. Just finding what works in your body. We're going to draw the arms up overhead, and so if right leg is up and over the left, we're going to take right arm underneath, and we're going to cross once, cross twice, maybe the hands cross. And we'll find eagle arm, so we're in eagle cow, okay? And just finding a few breaths here in your eagle cow. We're going to inhale, draw the elbows up, a little flossing of the shoulders, and exhale, tucking it in, forward, moving with your breath, your rhythm. Inhale, a little reach. And exhale, draw it in. And one more, inhale to lift. Exhale. And release, free the arms if you like, free the legs, just shake it out for a moment. And we'll switch sides, so this time. And if you're sitting cross-legged, you can even just switch which leg is in front, right? So feeling out what works in your practice, and then allowing your left leg to come on top if you're finding your cow legs, and our eagle arms. Let's sweep the arms out. Inhale, exhale, left under right. And maybe a single wrap. You can always do a little self-hug here, or double wrap. And then moving with the breath, inhale to lift the elbows. Exhales, hug it in a little bit here. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then one more. And freeing the arms, flying it out, letting the legs shake it out, and just wiggle it through. Good. Alrighty, from here, I'll invite you to come into a table pose or whatever is going to work for your body. So that little porpoise movement that we had earlier in the upper body, we're going to engage that here in a tabletop flow. So you want to, gaze for a moment. You're welcome to. It's pretty simple. We're coming forward and through and rounding back. You can allow the crown of the head or even your nose, like that porpoise, just coming forward and through, out of the water, back in. Letting the breath move through you. Inhale, exhale back. Inhale forward. Rounding the spine as the hips come toward the heels. And again, make it yours. And then you might explore from here, going in the opposite direction. So allowing yourself to come up through a cat pose and then finding cow as you sit the hips back, right? So that you're rounding the spine up and then allow it to draw the heart down. Curling down, arching as you lift, and exhale, finding that extension of spine. And then from here, really explore, make it yours. So you might even move a little in a snake-like way, side to side with your hips and shoulders. You might find that one of those movements from down to up or the opposite circle felt real good, or maybe you barrel roll through your chest. Maybe you find some rotations around your knees and wrists. Letting yourself find the soft animal of your body, right? We'll borrow from Mary Oliver again. Letting your soft animal of your body love what it loves. Allowing yourself to go for what feels good at that intuitive level. Following sensations. And if you're continuing to notice areas or pockets of tightness in your body, we honor those. We go toward it rather than away from, but we go toward with breath and awareness and kindness, so that we're folding those tight places, those constrictions into our awareness. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, we'll meet back in a tabletop, and we're going to find some extensions here, reaching the right leg back. You can find balance here, maybe gaze down, maybe the left arm comes forward. Right? And stabilizing here, and we'll do some integration right and left as we exhale, knee and elbow under the body, curl. Inhale, reach. Exhale, broaden. Inhale, expand. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, listen carefully, bending through the top leg. Drawing the right arm back. This is a beautiful place to stay. Or maybe hand and ankle make contact and you reach into a half bow. No right, no wrong. Honoring your sensation, your body, your breath. And slowly releasing, hand to the earth. Listen carefully, leg out to the right side. I'll show this in a different direction here. So tabletop, right leg out to the side. Okay, toes can face forward. And then from here, inhale, reaching the right arm. And exhale, threading through. Inhale, open to the sky. Exhale, drawing it under. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. This time, taking hand down and walking hands up to balance here. We'll draw arms up overhead and exhale toward the right, allowing yourself to breathe into the left side body. Maybe your gaze is down towards the right foot, maybe underneath the left arm. And from here, inhale, up and over, left hand to the mat, right arm can reach long, and then breathing this time into the right side body. Letting the breath be soft, open. And we'll add in a little challenge if you'd like, lifting right leg off of the floor. On an exhale, knee and elbow can come toward each other. On an inhale, reach, strengthening the side body. Exhale. Inhale. Maybe exhale through the mouth here. Inhale. Listen carefully. We'll bend through the right leg, reaching the right arm back. Maybe you stay like that, maybe they connect. Half bow here. Slowly releasing, coming back through to tabletop. And just a few breaths here, your free flow, integrating that side, finding what's awake, what's moving, what sensations are present. And we'll come into side two, stabilizing here in table, lifting left leg back. You can use your gaze for balance. Maybe right arm comes forward. And then integration flow. Exhale, elbow to knee. Inhale to reach. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. All right, listen carefully. Next time you reach, exhale to bend through the left leg, reaching right arm back. Beautiful place to stay. Or maybe you make contact and kicking into a half bow. There's no better or worse. Slowly release, placing right hand down. We'll take left leg out to the left. This time, inhale, freeing the left arm. Exhale, threading it through. You can imagine you're one of those fiddlehead ferns, unfurling to the sun and curling back in at the end of the day. One more here, inhale. Exhale to the earth, walking hands up, lifting here, drawing arms up, and we'll lean to the left. Exploring the placement of your gaze, your neck, breathing into the right intercostals, between the ribs. And exhale, up and over, placing right hand onto the earth, reaching left arm long. Nice long side body once again. This is a beautiful place to stay, or maybe you find a lift of the left leg, little balance act here. And then on an exhale, perhaps elbow and knee. Inhale, press away, reach away. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach, bending through the left knee, drawing the right arm back. Beautiful place to stay, or maybe you make contact into a half bow. Lovely. Releasing here. Back through to tabletop. And from here, curling toes under. Inhale, lifting head, tail. And exhale, downward facing dog. So just as we did in tabletop, take your time here and make this shape yours. Maybe you bend one knee and the other. Maybe you bend both deeply. Exploring what's present in your body today. Lovely to acknowledge what's present in left side of the body and right side of the body. Knowing that we're not symmetrical, we're not meant to be. Honoring what each is holding for you today. And then from downward dog, we'll inhale right leg back and behind. And exhale forward and through. From here, releasing left knee down and walking yourself up. Now this is where, as you can see, I like to have a little padding underneath my left knee. So feel this out for your body. And you can warm into that hip flexor and back out. Just greeting what's present for you. And then just like we did at the beginning, inhale, we'll draw the arms up overhead. Exhale, we'll open to the right. Inhale to center. Let's open to the left. Inhale, center. Open to the right. Inhale. To the left. Inhale here. This time, exhale, hands to prayer. And we'll take a little twist here, elbow to the outside of the right thigh. And I'll invite you to keep that left knee down today and just allow yourself to breathe into the left hip flexor and the twisting of the spine. We'll untwist. Inhale, sweeping arms up. And exhale to the earth, shifting hips back and lengthening out through the right leg. So this might be a hello hamstring moment. And if that's true for you, make it yours. Really warm yourself in. I like to find that undulation of the spine over the leg. Maybe you explore that a little bit. You can flex through the right toes or point the toes. You can even use blocks here under the hands, right, to give yourself some go-go gadget arms and bring the floor a little closer. And then an option, if you'd like, to take this into a twist. So I do like a block under my left hand for this. And then allowing your hips to stay real center as we twist through the mid-spine and draw right arm up overhead. Just a few breaths here. You might sense the outer right hip flexor. And then on an exhale, coming back through to center. So listen carefully. We're going to step forward onto that right foot. You might use your blocks for this transition as well. And we'll take flight here into a one-legged stance. So you can allow yourself to find a little balance. Balance shape. Maybe you explore if that right hip has a tendency to hike up. Explore what it feels like to take the right hip in line with the left. And again, you might notice the outer right leg. Inhaling here. Exhale, we'll take the left foot behind the right. So we're crossing the feet here. I'll show this in a different direction. We're going to take left foot around pinky toe sides of the feet toward each other. And then you can find a halfway lift. And an exhale into a forward fold. You might find a little bend in the right knee. And you might even want to walk your hands around to the right. So this time a greeting of the left hip flexor. And you might explore what it feels like to walk the hands a little bit to the left. You know, everybody will notice different experiences unique to you. Beautiful. From here, we're going to lift that left leg again. You might wiggle your left toes. Remember which is the left leg. Take the left leg back behind. Okay, and here's a big move. It's a little bit big on the knees, so go gentle here. We're going to bend into the right knee and take left knee to the earth. So we're coming into a seated twist. And if you need to take a few more steps to get there, that's absolutely fine. Inhale, sweeping arms up overhead. Exhale, right hand behind, left hand to the outside of the right thigh or maybe elbow, maybe a Yan Mudra or a hand mudra here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, deepen your twist, chin can come toward your right shoulder, eyes to the right corners of their sockets, grounding into the sits bones. Beautiful. Inhale to center. We'll take a little counter twist, taking left hand to the earth and pressing into left hand, left knee, shin, and just a little opening here. And settling down. We will untwist, unwind, rolling your way around back to downward facing dog, however you want to get there. Another lovely place to check in. We've explored some movements differentially on left and right. Now what do you sense and feel left and right sides of your body? Down dog is such a lovely place to check back in. And then from here, freeing your left leg back and behind, inhale. Exhale, gazing forward, stepping forward, and lowering right knee to the earth. Now, taking your time here, you can come in and out of the lunge, maybe hands to thigh. And then coming up through center, we'll draw arms up overhead. Inhale here. Exhale, we'll open to the left. Inhale. Open to the right. Inhale, center. Open to the left. Inhale. To the right. Crossing midline, inhale. This time hands to heart center. And taking right elbow around to the outside of your left leg. Hands in prayer, deepening the twist. You can counter that twist by ensuring that the hips stay square, that the twist can come from the mid-spine. Beautiful. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, hands descend to the earth or to blocks, and then shifting the hips back, breathing into the back of your right leg. And like we explored before, just allowing yourself to find a little spinal movement, micro movements, noticing if the left hamstring has a different story to tell than the right, honoring the truth of what's present right here. Maybe you like blocks. And then from here, grounding into that right hand, if it's on a block or not, and opening up the left arm. So, lovely place to greet the IT band and the outer left leg. You might be saying, it's not so lovely, Ariel. That's okay. Greeting what is. Let's go ahead and come back down. And we've got our big move here. So you can plant that left hand, prepare yourself to launch forward, right? Maybe your blocks come with you. And notice if that left hip hiked up, taking the left hip even to the right hip even to the left, the right hip this side. And finding a nice, strong shape here. One-legged forward fold in a sense, one leg lifted. And then we're going to descend that right leg around to the outside, so that pinky edge to pinky edge. You've got your feet here greeting each other. Pinkies can kiss, okay? Maybe you bend a little into that left knee. You can stay at center, or maybe you take your blocks with you to the left, or no blocks, whatever you're choosing. Sending your breath into any of the tight spaces. Whoa. And then back through, maybe walk around to the other side. Swing, honoring. And back through to center. So wiggling your right toes, taking that right foot back up off the mat. One more time in our halfway lift. This time we're bending through the left knee, the right knee bends behind it, tucks in. And I'll turn to the side here. We're coming back to a seated twist. So take your time to get there however you'd like, whatever works for your knees or body. Okay. Inhale, arms to lift. And this time we're twisting to the left, maybe the hand to the outside of the right knee, left fingertips behind, or maybe it's the elbow. Finding a long spine, grounding through your sits bones so that we can really have that rooting into the pelvis so the twist can happen mid-spine. And then you can complete the twist with the chin, the eyes, and allow the breath to fill the shape. Beautiful. Unwinding here. A little counter twist as we place the right hand down. You can press into right hand, right knee, chin, and open it up. Replacing your hips and your way to downward dog. However gracefully or ungracefully that happens, all welcome. From downward facing dog, allowing yourself to check in one more time. Left and right, finding midline, your intention. And this time gazing forward and walking your feet forward to your hands, maybe walking with straight legs, just exploring. Finding a halfway lift. Exhale to fold. And I'll invite a bend of the knees. We'll do a rolling up to standing, but if that's not right for your spine, you can come up with a long spine. Letting the arms dangle, be heavy. Let the head be heavy. Pressing into the feet, activating through the legs as you roll vertebrae by vertebrae all the way up to standing. Letting your head come last, crown of the head lengthening up towards the sky. Fingertips melting towards the earth. And finding a half moon here. I'll step myself back a little bit here. Finding a little half moon, drawing the arms up overhead, taking hold of the left wrist, and then inhale, exhale, up and over toward the right. Inhale, center, and toward the left. Inhale, center. This time cactusing the arms, lifting through the heart. Exhale, drawing elbows and palms together. A little bit of a flexion and extension, a cat-cow in the spine, pressing here. And inhale, lengthening through the arms. Exhale, swan dive to the front of your mat. Inhale, finding a halfway lift. Exhale, planting your hands, stepping back, high plank position. A brief hold here. Tailbone long, slight tuck here of the pubic bone here to engage through the strengthening of the core. Gazing down long through the back of your neck. Inhale. And exhale, releasing your knees, bending your elbows, releasing your chest and your chin, and then softening, slithering down to the earth. A little bit of spine strengthening here. Planting the hands and lifting up your version of cobra, your choice, how much weight in the palms, how much lift of the chest. But as you draw the thighs toward midline, feel yourself with your cobra tail here. Really allowing the movement to initiate from your tailbone. With the breath, one more here. And then curling toes under. Pressing through table and through downward facing dog. Inhaling here. Exhale, gazing forward, walking or maybe hopping yourself to the front. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to stand. Exhale to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, cactus the arms. Inhale. Exhale, elbows and hands together. Inhale, sweeping hands to the ceiling. Exhale, swan dive to the earth. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands plant, stepping back. Exhale, knees, chest and chin. Slithering to the earth. This time bending the knees, reaching back, and finding your way toward a bow. This is a beautiful place to stay, or maybe taking hold of your ankles, kicking into the hands. Maybe knees lift, heart lifts, feeling the breath in the belly. You can always return to cobra if this is too much. And then soften and release. Hands under shoulders, pressing back momentarily into child's pose. Hips to heels, forehead rooted, palms soft. Child's pose might be too much in your body. If so, finding puppy dog, hips can stay lifted above the knees. In one form or another, I invite you to let your forehead be heavy and rested onto something, even stacked palms, if not the earth. Allowing the back of your neck to soften. Much of the philosophy of how I teach is to allow the nervous system to progress rhythmically between sympathetic activation and parasympathetic rest, so that we're building flexibility of your nervous system to go between these states, to engage as needed, and to fully rest when it's time. Sending your breath all the way down to your tailbone, softening through your kidneys. And then slowly, we'll come back through to movement. Coming up through tabletop. Curling toes under. Inhale, head, tail. Exhale, downward facing dog. Once again, a beautiful place to check in with your body. What's needing to happen next? What's occurring for you between left and right sides? From downward dog, taking your gaze forward. Inhale. Exhale, stepping or hopping to the front. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. This time, bending the knees, Utkatasana. Right? So we find our way in this little bit of a squat, awkward seated pose, lightning bolt intensity, right? Maybe you begin to feel the muscular action of your legs here. You can explore the relationship between sitting a little more deeply in the hips, yet keeping the heart open, reaching through the fingertips. Here you are, standing in the space between your connection to the earth, all that's mortal, all that's happening on our planet, and your connection through to the realms of potential, awakening to possibility. Inhaling here. Exhale, we'll bring our hands to heart center. Inhaling here. And exhale, we'll find a twist, taking left elbow toward the outside of your right thigh. Squeezing inner thighs toward each other, feeling midline. A little bit of shake is a good sign you are alive. And inhale to center, Utkatasana. Exhale, hands to heart, switching it out, elbow, right elbow to the outside of the left. Squeezing midline, feeling your feet awake, your thighs trembling. Your breath rises to meet the shape. And then coming through, inhale, lifting here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, stepping back. High, maybe to low plank, or to the earth for cobra, or rolling over the toes, upward facing dog. Exhale, pressing back, downward facing dog. From downward dog, inhale, freeing your right leg. Exhale, gazing forward. Listen carefully, grounding into the feet for crescent lunge. So feet can be wide enough that they're hip width or railroad tracks apart, not on a balance beam. And then inhale, up to crescent. Finding your balance. Coming back to breath. Here, we'll inhale to center and exhale, open to the right. A little bit of balance as we inhale to center and exhale to the left. This time, inhale, center, exhale to the right. Take the right hand toward the back of the sacrum or right leg, and then allow yourself to exalt your crescent lunge, finding a little bit of an opening into the side reach, The left fingertips overhead. You can gaze over the right shoulder or maybe upward toward the left fingertips. Beautiful. Coming back up through center, inhale. This time exhale, we'll twist open to the left but take the feet with us for warrior two. A few breaths arriving in warrior two. I encourage you to lengthen and deepen in and out of that right leg. You can let the arms come with you. Beautiful. And then from the warrior two, inhale to reach away. Exhale to extended side angle. It can take forearm to thigh, left arm overhead. Grounding into the outer edge of your left foot. Exploring that side body lengthening. There are all of these little nerve fibers that go into the intercostals between the ribs that are so deliciously nourishing for our nervous system. As you breathe and stretch in there, notice what happens for you. Inhale, we'll reach away, this time lengthening through the right leg. You might toe heel your feet slightly closer. Reverse triangle. And on an exhale, long reach, reach, reach. Rotate your arms. Maybe a block comes in handy, right? Make this shape yours. Softening the gaze, softening into the right knee. Inhale. And exhale to the earth. Your way to downward dog. Maybe you skip the vinyasas, your practice. From downward dog, inhale, freeing your left leg behind. Exhale, forward and through. Feet wide enough here. Nice, strong foundation for balance as we come up to crescent, walking yourself up. Maybe a little knee bend and lengthen, and then arms can lift. From crescent, inhale. Exhale, we open to the left. Feeling familiar, huh? Inhale, center. Exhale, open to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, open to the left. This time we exalt. Left fingertips to the sacrum, to the back of your right leg. And then reaching up, back. Maybe you gaze behind your left shoulder. Maybe you find a little balance as you lift your gaze here. Slowly, slowly, back through crescent. Inhale. This time we open to the right, taking the right heel with us. And I'll turn myself around, but we'll make our way to warrior two. As we did on the other side, let yourself come in and out. Maybe the arms and legs. Just find a little fluid movement. Beautiful. Inhale, reaching away from the front bent leg. And exhale, extend your side angle here. Inhale, lifting up, lengthen, maybe a slightly shortened stance, and reaching away. Exhale, long reach, 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 and rotate. What's important about any of these postures is not that you perfect the outer shape, but we're tapping into the energy, the vibration, the intentionality, right? So here, a very linear shape, these warrior series, intentionality, fire, discernment, tapas, discipline. Softening your gaze, softening the left knee, inhale. And exhale, descending to the earth, your way, to downward facing dog. Once you arrive there, I'll invite a little brief respite, whether you want child's pose or a sip of water, whatever serves you. We'll have one more standing series here. And when you feel ready, meeting in your downward dog, inhaling here. Exhale, gaze forward and hop or step to the front. Inhale, halfway. Exhale to fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, bending through the knees. Now, we did a seated eagle pose before. You can do that again. Otherwise, coming into standing eagle, placing weight in your left leg, right leg, up and around and over. And on an exhale, sweeping right arm, maybe that hug, maybe around, palm to palm. Finding your balance. What's beautiful about eagle is that it forces us to rely on our other senses because we're blocking our visual experience. We have obstructed our view. We can't see clearly, so use your ears, use your proprioceptive connection to yourself in space. And hey, if you fall out of it, so be it. It's all welcome. We're going to unwind here, step it out wide, and reach, lifting up to the balls of the feet. Reach out through your hands. A little bit of a balance here. Expand. And exhale to midline. Feet together, palm to palm. Sensing your heartbeat, your breath. And then bending the knees, releasing the hands, inhale Utkatasana. This time, weight into your right foot, left leg, up, around, and over. Left arm, under the right. Single wrap, double wrap. Finding your balance, obstructing your view, lifting the elbows, forearms reach slightly away. What do you rely on when we can't clearly see the path forward? And then free it out, step wide, lift to the balls of the feet, reach through your fingertips, right? Let yourself expand. And then soften and step into midline. Pressing inner thighs toward each other, feeling the inner edges of the feet, grounding, reaching the tailbone long, drawing the navel in. Palm to palm, firm. Softening through the hands, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. And exhale your way to downward dog. And again, you can skip a vinyasa. Meet right here. However you want to get here. From downward dog, inhale to free the right leg. And exhale to step forward, this time for pyramid. So, nice place for blocks. In pyramid, we have a shortened stance. We're aiming to really balance out through the sacrum. We're finding a long spine and then folding over the right leg. So you might stay more uplifted. You might fold in, greeting that right hamstring. And this is our secure base for where we go next. We'll come into Pavrita Trikonasana, one of my favorite yoga postures, one of the more challenging posture. In this posture, you can either keep your hand toward midline, or you might cross midline, taking left hand to the outside of the right foot. Again, I recommend a block here, right? Giving yourself a little bit of height. The right hand can come to your sacrum, finding a long spine, allowing yourself to find a twist toward the right. Maybe right fingertips reach toward the sky. Slowly soften and unwind. Releasing hands back to blocks, and you'll see why here in a moment. Now again, if you're not using blocks, you can bring fingertips, you can use a chair in front of you, a couch in front of you, lots of options, even the wall. Where we're going to come to here is our one-legged lift once again. We were here before. So, long spine, check if that right hip is hiking up. For a moment, let's bring the hips to a nice even position. And then we'll purposefully open the right hip. So we were in this shape in triangle on the earth. We ground through the right hand and you come in and out of balance, right? And taking the left arm, left leg to lift. So, balancing here, standing half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Now, you might stay here, you might bend into the left leg and reach right hand to take hold. We did this in another shape related to gravity, right? We did this in tabletop. We did this on our knee. Feeling that opening, that closing of the circuit between hand and foot, and then unwinding here. One last little challenge here, coming into the fold here, keeping left leg lifted. And maybe you join me for this last little push, right hand to sacrum. Keeping your left leg nice and strong here as we twist open toward the right, maybe right fingers lift. Beautiful. Coming back around to center, settling left foot to the earth, and maybe you take a moment and shake out the right and shake out the left. And from here, we'll find a halfway lift. And your way to downward facing dog. Okay, now you know what we have ahead of us for side two. Let that go though. Let side one go. Let the anticipation of side two go for a moment. And we'll come into it together. Inhale, freeing left leg. Exhale, stepping forward, a shorter stance. You can sweep the right toes in, both sets of toes facing toward the front of the mat, the right toes slightly angled. Nice even through the hips. You can always take a hand and check. You can kind of imagine sticking a little teacup up there. It's nice to feel that we can find that stabilization through the low spine, especially as we prepare to twist. Deepening for another breath here in pyramid. And then from here, taking right hand either to center or across midline outside the left leg. You can take that left hand back to the sacrum, finding the nice long, strong spine, and then beginning to twist here. Taking your gaze to the side, maybe fingertips lift. And softening back to center. Okay, final big challenge. Sending your weight into the left foot, lifting through the right leg. You can flex through that right foot, finding nice, strong relationship to the earth. And then we're going to open the hips, right? Stacking right hip above the left. It's like Trikonasana, like triangle, new relationship to gravity. You can take right hand to right hip, gazing down, side, or up. Maybe you reach that right fingertips up above you. This is a beautiful place to stay. Or maybe you come into Chapasana, sugarcane pose, intending for hand and foot to touch each other. Maybe they reach. Maybe you press into that half bow. Slowly release, let go. Coming back through into our halfway lift. We've got one more challenge. Staying here, or maybe left hand lifts to sacrum. Keeping that nice stable balance, taking a twist toward the left. Maybe left fingertips lift. And releasing the hand, releasing right foot, and shake it out. Whew. Beautiful. Inhale here for a halfway lift. This time exhale, bending the knees. Coming into ball of yarn. So your heels can lift up off the earth. Maybe you even find a little balance right here, hugging opposite elbows with your hands, tucking your nose slightly. You can keep your fingers on the earth. And then using your hands here to descend your hips, coming down onto your mat. So I'm taking us right to the edge of our time here today. Go ahead and come down onto your back for just a few breaths here. I'd like to give you a short Shavasana. I had an ambitious flow, so thank you for hanging in there with me today. As you come onto your back though, before going right into Shavasana, check in. Check in with any final movements your body needs, maybe a supine twist, although we've done a lot of twisting today. Maybe you want to just wiggle it out. Maybe you want a little heart opener, a fish or whatever serves you, a little hip opener if you want to come into a figure four, if you want a bridge pose, or a shape that has no name, happy baby, taking it into an intuitive flow. feel complete with movement, I'll invite you to stay for a 2-minute or so Shavasana, taking your time to set up that shape as you would any other shape. Giving yourself the gift of softening into stillness and deep relaxation. Look, the trees are turning their own bodies into pillars of light, are giving off the rich fragrance of cinnamon and fulfillment. The long tapers of cattails are bursting and floating away over the blue shoulders of the ponds. And every pond, no matter what its name is nameless now. Every year, everything I have ever learned in my lifetime leads back to this. The fires and the black river of loss, whose other side is salvation, whose meaning none of us will ever know. To live in this world, you must be able to do these 3 things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it. And when the time comes, to let it go. To let it go. What a journey we have done together in this hour and a half of your day, of your week, of this life, to just devote into this inquiry, the self-study, the svadhyaya of the yoga practice, curiosity, and the giving of your own attention and energy back into yourself, knowing that it is from this foundation that we can now walk through the world and be that guiding, centered, balanced presence that the world needs more than ever right now. Thank you all for devoting your time on this day here to this practice, making this community what it is. I feel so deeply blessed. And honoring and in closing of this practice, you can bring hands together if you'd like to join me in sitting. You are welcome to remain in Shavasana for this closing, whatever serves you. And wherever you are, that one more breath, connecting to the Sushumna, to that midline, that center place, the sweet spot that allows all that's happening to be happening, and you can stand, you can be present in the middle of all this. Namaste.